got the best God after that.
That's right.
But in reality, see, if we're talking about who has the best ideology, who has the best leader, who has the best religion, from an outside standpoint, you got to ask where the progress of our people.
Right.
So if I got the best idea, and I'm expounding on my ideal and building on my idea, but it's not producing the results, which is a mass level of change for our people, then my argument is weak.
You're right.
It may be strong in theory, but it's not strong in practical application.
That's a fact.
So what we have to learn to do is practically apply what Garvey taught. Practically apply what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Practically apply what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught. Practically apply what Noble Drew Ali taught. Practically apply W.E.B. Du Bois. You understand where I'm going? Booker T. Washington. If you could go down the line of time for the last 100 years, we've had more brilliant minds here in America among black people than most people can boast in the last 100 years. Now, I know you got governmental interference. I know that but we've had brilliant minds. So here we are in Black History Month. But some people are saying it, Black Future Month. We haven't been able to take the thoughts, ideas, work of Paul Rhodes and be able to combine that with the work of King, combine that with the work of Malcolm, you understand? And then come up with a pathway that what we're doing now is building on what they established.
They build on their shoulders.
Look at America. They still talk about the Constitution of the United States of America. They still go to that foundational document, but they build on top of it.
That's a fact.
You don't see them. You listen to us. We talk about, we looking for the next Malcolm X. We looking for the next Dr. But have you ever heard, in truth, Caucasian people looking for the next Thomas Jefferson?
No, you know.
They don't never say
they say on the document, not the individual.
Right. They understand life, technology, thinking, ideas, advance. And if you're going to advance other people, that's wonderful. But you got to you want to talk about what we've invented: the stoplight, blue jeans, the uses of the peanut. All of these things. These are beautiful things. But if you can't take those things now and say, okay, we're taking what George Washington Carver did, and we're going to start the George Washington Carver Science and Technology Institute, and we're going to produce geniuses. We're going to produce brilliance that go beyond what he did with the peanut, but into technology and scientific advancement that we can use in our own community now to advance ourselves. And we can make ourselves a power in the world. See, our thinking has to change and it has to adjust.
I think even a key point, I think I can really establish it and make it clear is like with our division based on our ideological differences. That's important because most civilizations, they're mature enough to know they have to be successful as a civilization first before they start dealing with ideological differences. You heard about the Moors,
yes, sir.
The Moorish history. And the thing about the Moors is they were Islamic, they were Mohammedans, you know. But the thing was, they were mature enough to know they had to establish the Moorish Empire first at Spain first before they get into whether it's Christianity is the true religion. So they really integrated everybody within their universities. It didn't matter what your religious background was. You could be Catholic, Christian, Jewish, you know, into the Kabbalah, and definitely the Sufi sciences, like the Moorish teachings of the Sufi sciences. So that model is what I'm saying. You say that you all have established right here at Phoenix, is that y'all even integrated without the division and the differences. Because all of our different groups, we had excellent and genius men that we stand on the shoulders of, and women as well that we stand on the shoulders of. But the division is where we fight these leaders, is where we fall apart. You know, and I've seen it all throughout the country, you know. So it's excellent to see that we can work together despite these different doctrines and ideologies. So I can appreciate that. That's just what I want to witness and experience and participate with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you had anything left on your heart that you was.
Well, I got a lot, but I think you want to get through your.
We get to get this question, Jill. Yeah. Okay, what you thinking?
No, I let him talk. Like, yeah, he's giving
If you had a few more things on your heart, I'm open to it, man. Because everything you're sharing is inspiring. It's being documented, so we're gonna be able to go back and reference it. Because we're making history right now.
Yes, sir.
You shared your success that you've had in Flint and here in Phoenix, and so it's notable. Now we know Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan are the fundamentals to the NOI and that organization, but the legacy moves on. It continues because Farrakhan is a continuation of that legacy.
Exactly.
And it's really a continuation of West African Islamic tradition.
Yes, sir.
So that Islamic tradition is still continuing.
Yes, sir.
So, but I will, if you open to it, I'll just go ahead and go to the questions, and maybe I'll open up other windows.
Just open up some windows, brother.
Okay. I was going to ask you. I'll make sure I'm clear that the sound is good, right? We can always edit.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. I want to make sure my questions get documented too. Okay. So. We wanted to ask you officially, because this is really the biggest question we can ask you today that we can leave with, is do you mind if we add you to our Arizona land contact list? Now, we're trying to make a contact list with particularly, Black people that are already landowners, farmers, gardeners, who have skills in that background, in that field. And when we create this contact list, I don't know if you already have a contact list, but if you do, we'd like to be exposed to that as well. We'd like to add you and your program to that contact list. And it's also going to be Native Americans and Europeans as well, and definitely, Mexicans and so on. But it's basically where we're trying to engineer this contact list to be a list, like a blueprint, to be able to help us as individuals go ahead and purchase land without any inhibition and get involved in farming and gardening without any inhibitions because they have the guidance and help. Because, a lot of people, they're trapped in 9-to-5s or their careers. They don't have any time. So we have a contact list. We can easily lead them towards you, and they can invest in you, and it be a cooperative network. So, were you all right with that?
I tell you excuse me, brother. I tell you like I tell everybody, if it has something to do with the advancement of our people, give them my name and my phone number. Don't give them my address because I'm out, right?
Yeah.
But I would love to be a part of that because and to get into our Ministry of Agriculture in our agriculture program. Agriculture is the foundation of any nation.
Yeah, we were just talking about that in the car.
You cannot be, if you can be a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, but you got to eat.
You can eat food, as a fact.
Everybody has to eat. And agriculture is not just confined to food. Booker T was building Tuskegee and raising the reputation of Tuskegee because they were learning how to make bricks. So then it's clay land. If you buy land, is it clay land there? Can clay land be used to make bricks? How much timber? Resources. How much timber is on the land? How many natural resources are on the land? So when we talk about the Ministry of Agriculture, we're not just talking about, excuse me, we're not just talking about growing food. We're talking about the agricultural needs of a nation. Why did we start a garden on South Phoenix? We started the garden in South Phoenix because we looked at what was called food deserts.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have the idea and the plan to look at vacant lots and begin to grow food on vacant lots. And that they would be community gardens. And these community gardens would grow non-GMO organic food, and because the community was a part of it, it would be at an affordable price. So now we're talking about ending food poverty. See? Because people go and they feed the homeless, and that's beautiful. But I always say this, and it's true. You can go to your next door neighbor and knock on their door, and you can open up their refrigerator. Some of their refrigerators ain't got nothing in it. They may not be on the street. So it's babies. It's babies who don't have. So my point in saying that is we need land.
Yeah, we need land.
We need land. Because from land we can produce all of our needs. We can provide food, clothing, shelter, and jobs.
Mm-hmm. And residual income as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you got land and you growing food, how does the grocery market get their food? How do the restaurants get their food? See?
It's really a simple reality. It's like I said, the backbone of civilization.
The food doesn't grow in the grocery store. I worked at, and I had to tell this story. I worked at Burger King when I was I don't know how old I was, but I was working at Burger King. My first day on the job, the manager tells me, go out back and grab some tomato. There's some tomato about to pick, to bring in. So I go out back. I come back in. This my first day on the job. I'm nervous. I can't find the tomato garden. I go back in. He said, it's right out back. It's right up top. So I go out and I look. Long story short, there was no tomato garden. Mm-hmm. When you go to these restaurants, they're not growing this food inside of the restaurant. And if that's a billion-dollar industry, if we could supply that industry or just a portion of it, how much do we produce for our people? See, you can't grow food without land.
That's a fact.
But yeah, brother.
We can't live without land.
And listen, all of us can't go to the rural area of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, right?
That's true.
But we in neighborhoods. We're in community with vacant lots. Go to places like Flint, Michigan. Go to places like Detroit. You can go to entire blocks.
Yeah,
with
vacant houses.
Just vacant houses and empty lots. That's growing weeds.
That's a fact.
If it grows weed, we can work the soil and get that same soil to grow plants. We have to supply our own needs. Go to Africa. Check this out.
Listen.
Go to Africa. Go to the Isles of the Caribbean and see how many nations run by black people that are not producing their own food, and their food has to be imported from another country. See, we have not used the land